Hello, how is everyone today? How are you feeling after the eclipse and now in Mercury retrograde? I know I've been feeling it. And on May 21st, we're now moving into gate 20 or gene key 20, which is the gate of the now or patience. And it connects the throat to the spleen and to the sacral. And this is really a very individual circuit. And it's in our knowing circuitry and the integration circuitry. And what this gate is really about, it's about the ability to trust in your intuitive knowing of what needs to be expressed in the moment. It's learning to trust yourself. So we are being called on a collective level. The sun is illuminating this gate 20 to learn how to trust ourselves and to trust in right timing. So on the shadow aspect of this in the gene keys, we talk about what's called superficiality, is what Richard Rudd calls this. I call it disconnection, because what it is it's a disconnection from our intuition and our disconnection from the present now moment. And when we are disconnected from our physical body, we're disconnected from being in the present. And so you can be in the present simply by right now, I'm inviting you to take a breath. And when we consciously choose to breathe, we bring ourselves into the now. When we are not in the now, and this is going to happen because we're human beings and we have to do stuff and things and we get caught up in stuff. But when we are not in the now, we start to operate from our mind. And the mind doesn't know how to connect to the now moment. It's operating in this linear thought pattern of times and timelines and planning and organizing. And what happens when we are living in the mind, this place of organization, the mind, when we live there, the mind disconnects us from the fact that we are connected to the flow of life. And it brings this illusion with it of separateness from the flow of life, from being separate. And then when we believe that we are separate, or the mind believes that we are separate, we then have less awareness of what's happening for us in the moment. And so this shadow aspect can be expressed in a few different ways, but the two of the main ways that Richard Rudd talks about is, one is being absent. And we can feel this in ourselves, and we notice this in other people. Like, you can see this in someone when you look into their eyes and you can see there's like a disconnection happening, or often the word that is used a lot nowadays is dissociated. When we are dissociated from our experience, which really just means that we're disconnected from our body. And we have language around this now, and this is because the trauma, when we experience trauma, especially as children, we dissociate because we cannot fight, right? That's one of the ways that the nervous system protects us, is it goes into fight. And children most often can't flee either, so we freeze, or we people please, which is sometimes called fawning. And this is where that dissociation, or that where we become absent, kicks in. So, and then the other way is, it can be expressed as being really hectic, where we're constantly moving and constantly doing. And we see this everywhere in life. It's like, go, go, go. You can't stop. You can't rest. You can't pause. You got to do this thing and then this thing and then this thing, right? So this is all a way that the mind, or that we disconnect from ourselves and from the flow of life. And just a reminder that this happens very naturally for human beings when we've experienced trauma, which every human being on the planet has experienced trauma. And so it's about learning to find safety in the body, to move into the gift of the shadow, to take all of that knowing and move into the higher expression of this, which is Richard Rudd calls it self-assurance or divine relaxation. And I like to think about trust in the moment. And this is really about learning how to lean into the flow of life and of yourself. So like leaning in and feeling the natural flow that is occurring all around us. And this is, we tap into the flow by being present with our body and being constantly curious about what needs to be done or said in this moment. And then in this moment. And then in this moment. Right? It's quite radical to think about existing that way, right? Instead of having all of everything planned out in front of us, tapping into what needs to happen now. So it's really about tapping into that intuitive side. And what's really cool about the mind is that when we start to use the mind in a way that is supportive for where we want to go. So for example, my mind can track when I wasn't in intuitive space, right? Because the mind is always kind of watching and paying attention. And so if I want to start practicing intuitively, it's something that I can reflect on and go, oh yeah, when I was operating from that intuitive place, when I was being in each moment, that actually felt really good. And magical things kind of fell into place for me. So it's really about learning to be in the space inside ourselves and feeling the connection to the energy of the universe, that you and that we are all connected to the energy of the universe, to the natural flow of Mother Earth and beyond. And it's important to remember that as we move into this gift, right, it's like the mind's not going to stop doing what it does. The mind will do what it does because that's what the mind is designed to do. The mind is here to make sense of the world, to gather all of the data and fit it together, right? So we let the mind do its thing. And then in each moment, when we remember, because it's all about practice, we breathe. Right? Just there, I was able to come back into me. And I don't know if you notice a difference in how I talk when I am in my heart space as opposed to when I'm here. For me, it's an energetic difference. I can feel myself feel more grounded, and then I can feel myself go up here. And then I'm like, what am I going to say next? What am I going to do next? What am I going to do with this video next, right? So it's all about going as much as we can remember, because, if we could do this all the time, that'd be amazing. And that's not the point. It's about practicing. It's about practicing being in the now as much as we can with grace and ease to ourselves as we practice. And when we practice this being in the now, we are also practicing patience. Because in patience, we are trusting the flow of life. In patience, we are trusting in right timing, that we will know what we need to do or what we need to say or what next step we need to take, all in right timing. So I'm going to ask you these questions. What would you create if your mind had nothing to worry about? If you didn't need to worry about your safety, which is all around money and where you live and food, right? If you didn't need to worry, if you had nothing to worry about, everything you ever needed was the money, the food, the car, the house. All of that was taken care of. What would you create? What would you do in each moment? And when we practice patience, so in those times where, let's just say, nothing's showing up, for sacral types, so the generators, manifesting generator types, things come up fairly quickly. You almost always have something quickly to respond to. For the non-sacral beings, especially the projectors and the reflectors, we may need to wait a little bit longer. We may need to practice a little bit more patience. And so when you are waiting, whether you're a manifestor, a generator type, a projector, or a reflector, when you are waiting, you get to have fun, first off. You get to integrate all of your learning. And you get to learn more if that's what you want. Or you could just get to have fun. Like if now is not the moment to take the next step or say the next thing or choose something new, if now is not the moment, have fun. And obviously I'm saying that for myself too, right? So we are here from May 21st until the 27th. Practicing, getting this gift of practicing being in the now, practicing being in patience, practicing being in your body, and to be in the body needs to feel safe. And so the best way that you can support the body to feel safe is to take a breath. And then to take another breath. And then to place your hands on your body. The body does not respond to words. Your body responds through experience. So the more that you can connect to your body, hand on heart, hand on stomach, breath, being in nature, listening to music, moving your body in a way that is connective, the more you can help your body feel safe and the more you can be present in the moment. Wishing you well. Thank you for watching.